my kids absolutely have to have a dad that they can trust, a dad that loves God, a dad that's willing to let them freaking mess it up and screw up and still love them and not get angry at mistakes, which I'm not perfect at, by the way. But like, I try to tell myself, like, don't get angry at mistakes. Don't get angry at mistakes. Like, love them through it. So right around that time of Eliana being adopted, which was 4 years ago, it really started to like hard shifts, man.
Let me ask a couple clarifying questions, then I'm going to stay on this path that we're on. How many years have you been married and how many kids do you have?
So I'm currently on my second marriage. My wife, Renee, and I, we've been married for just over 5 years. We celebrated our 5-year anniversary
Nice, man.
About a month and a half ago. So it's been a really awesome journey, man. So I have 5 kids now. So I have my 2 sons from my first marriage, Gabriel and Grayson. So they're 13 and 10. And then I've got my son from my wife's first relationship, Travis. He's 12. So he kind of fits right in the middle of the 2 boys, and they have such a cool connection. You know, they're brothers now, and they really enjoy it. They really love it. So much so that like anytime there's a shakeup in schedule and they're there, but the other one isn't, like, it's like the house isn't the same, you know, there's like that disappointment that their brother's not there, you know? And so that's been really awesome. It's been really awesome to watch. Because in the beginning of that binded relationship, or that blended relationship in the beginning, we were super conscious of the fact that like Gabriel and Grayson really needed one-on-one time with me as they were adjusting to this new relationship. They still need one-on-one time with me, but they needed it especially then as they were adjusting to new kids coming into the home and getting attention. But now it's like when they're home and Travis isn't there, they're like, man, this sucks. Like, where's cool. Travis? You know, and so it's like, it's great watching that brotherhood really bond. And then we've got my daughter Eliana, my adopted daughter. So I adopted Eliana. She's now 6, and then my wife and I brought a purebred into the family. So we had a baby. She's not a baby anymore, man. She's 4. Gwendolyn. She is the most spunky, personality-driven thing. Like, I think the poor moms, like, let's talk about this for a second. Like, my 4-year-old daughter ran into the living room where my wife was sitting on the couch, and she put her hand on her butt, and like on her own butt. And then my wife looked at her and said, "What are you doing?" And my daughter farted on her hand and then rubbed her hand on my wife's face. And it's just like freaking parenthood, man. Like, if that doesn't sum up parenthood, I don't know what else does.
Somebody has 3 older brothers.
Dude, no joke. So that's our life. That's our life right now. Like, our daughter farting on her mom.
Yes.
And like our kids breaking bones. And it's just kind of like, you know, and us loving the Lord in weird, awkward ways.
So what's a weird, awkward way you love the Lord?
One of the really weird, awkward ways that we love the Lord is I wouldn't actually say that this is this isn't really one of the weird, awkward ways, but some of the things that we like to actually do that we find to be kind of unique is we try to thank God for some of those normal things that you wouldn't normally thank God for. Like, in that moment when my daughter farted on her hand and then like smashed it into my wife's face and we couldn't believe what had happened. Like, my daughter walked off and like all the kids were in a bad mood that day, except Gwen. And Gwen was like running off, like laughing her rear end off. And we took that moment to just be like, God, thank you so much that that child's happy right now. Like, so happy that she wanted to do what she just did. Right. And so like we try to like relish in those moments where people might not find appreciation, but it's like, wow, like, our kids are healthy. Our kids are happy. You know what I mean? We have this plate that we made, and it's your special plate. We went to a place where you like throw clay and stuff. And we made this plate, this like weird looking plate. It's like green and gold, and it says "You're special." And every day in our home, we dish out dinner, and one person gets that "You're special" plate. And then during dinner, that person gets to pray, but then we all talk about like what we love about that person, because they've got the "Your special" plate. And every day someone else has the "Your special" plate. Just trying to like really appreciate the kids more than life gets so busy. You might forget to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have to be intentional about that, creating the space. So with that in mind, you hear your story, married, kids, divorced, remarried, adopted, another kid, lots going on. At what point did you embrace fatherhood? At what point did you go, this really matters? My role matters, regardless of the messy chaos that life is going to just bring. These kids have been placed in my care. When did that become reality for you? What'd that look like?
I think it was when the time came for adopting Eliana to like really happen. I think it was when I think that when that time came, it really was like choosing fatherhood instead of like fatherhood choosing you. Because like, I mean, we all choose fatherhood in a way, right? Like we decide to go do the deed. You know what I mean? And then
but we're not usually thinking about,
pregnant.
this is going to make me a dad.
There are a lot of people who, like, I remember when my wife and I got pregnant with Gwen, and we've got this really good set of friends that they got pregnant right at the same time. And I literally everyone was trying to get pregnant at the time. And we were like called my friend and was like, all right, dude, tonight we're going for it. Right. And like we got pregnant at the same time, and that was really fun. So there's that intentionality. But like, I remember when Eliana was like coming into my life, and it was like, okay, like this isn't me and my wife making love and then a baby comes and we would be making love with or without the baby, but the baby is a plus. Like this is how God blesses our family through the love we make. Like this is different. I have a choice right now. I can choose fatherhood right now or not. Like that was when fatherhood for me became like a blatant choice.
That's cool.
And I decided to choose fatherhood. And so for me, that was where things really made a hard shift for me. And then also like at the same time reflecting on like how my boys from my previous marriage, they deal and have to tolerate some pretty significant instabilities on the other side. And it really kind of started coming to light around the same time. And I had to really step into being like, okay, my kids absolutely have to have a dad that they can trust, a dad that loves God, a dad that's willing to let them freaking mess it up and screw up and still love them and not get angry at mistakes, which I'm not perfect at, by the way. But like, I try to tell myself, like, don't get angry at mistakes. Don't get angry at mistakes. Like, love them through it. So right around that time of Eliana being adopted, which was 4 years ago, it really started to like hard shifts, man.